It is squash season. All year I wait for Delicata squash season, and when I see them popping up at farmers markets and grocery stores, my heart does a happy dance. Delicata is the most perfect squash in my humble opinion. It is creamy, sweet, easy to cut through, and you don't even need to peel it. When you roast it, it turns a beautiful golden orangey brown and gets perfectly caramelized. It's sweet and savory with a buttery bite. Because they're so small, they cook up faster than other squash too. They're so incredibly good. What is Delicata squash? Delicata is a type of winter squash. It's a cylindrical cream-colored squash with dark green stripes on the outside. Inside, the flesh is orange. As its name suggests, the skin is delicate. It's supremely versatile, and because the skin is thin and edible, it is one of the best squashes out there. It's usually roasted or baked, but you can also air fry it, simmer it, saute/pan roast it, or ever microwave it. The seeds are edible as well. How to prepare Delicata squash? Washington. Because you can eat the skin, you don't need to peel Delicata. Just give a good scrub and dry it thoroughly. Trim. Trim off the tiny stem and discard. If desired, you can trim off the bud as well. Slice. Slice the Delicata in half lengthwise. Scoop. Use a spoon to scoop out the seeds and pulp. Cut. Cut the seeded squash into 3/4, 1-inch slices. If desired, cut the slices into cubes. How does Delicata squash taste? Delicata is mild, creamy, and sweet, similar to butternut squash, but more tender and sweet like a sweet potato or yam. If you've had honey nut squash, it's very close to that. Its sweet velvety flesh caramelizes wonderfully. The skin is tender and a bit chewy. How to roast Delicata squash? Prep the Delicata, toss it with a bit of oil and season generously with salt and pepper. Roast it in a hot oven, flipping once halfway, and you're in roasted squash heaven. How long to roast Delicata squash? Believe it or not, how long you roast Delicata squash for depends on the shape you're using. Cubes. Roast cubes for 18 to 20 minutes in a 400 degrees Fahrenheit oven, stirring halfway. Half moons. Roast half moons for 20 to 25 minutes in a 425 degrees Fahrenheit oven, flipping halfway. Rings. Roast rings for 10 to 25 minutes in a 425 degrees Fahrenheit oven, flipping halfway. Halved. Place the cut sides down and roast for 30 minutes in a 400 degrees Fahrenheit oven, flipping halfway. How to air fry Delicata squash? Toss the prepared Delicata squash with a drizzle of oil. Season with salt and freshly ground pepper. Add the squash to the air fryer basket and air fry at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes or until crisp and golden brown, shaking halfway. Let cool slightly and enjoy. How to pan fry Delicata squash? It's easier to pan fry Delicata that is prepared smaller. Small cubes or thinner slices work best. Heat up a bit of oil in a skillet over medium-high heat and add the squash. Cook, without flipping, for 2 to 3 minutes, until lightly browned. Flip and continue to cook for another 2 to 3 minutes or until the squash is tender. Season with salt and pepper and enjoy. How to simmer Delicata squash? To keep your Delicata moist and juicy, try simmering it. Prep the Delicata into large pieces and place in a skillet with 1 cup broth of choice. Bring to a simmer and reduce the heat. Cook, covered, until the squash is fork tender, about 6 to 8 minutes. When is Delicata squash season? Delicata season is in the fall and early winter. You usually see them popping up at the very tail end of summer. Is Delicata squash healthy? Yes. It's high in fiber, vitamin A and C, as well as potassium. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.